Hello and welcome to Boner City, USA, the #1 podcast in the universe with the dumbest name in the history of podcasts. My name is Dan Bilek. I'm one of your 4 co-hosts, along with...
No, you gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! Andrew Dewitt! Oh, wooga!
Sorry about that. Andrew's mic was on. And
hey guys, it's Ryan O'Neal.
And
it's the Danish.
It doesn't. We've never had a sound before.
That was awesome, dude.
I
That
had
was
their
like
mics,
50 cents.
I had all their mics turned down because they're
Because
assholes.
you were angry with
Well,
us.
before we start the show, we've talked about this many times. All I have
We
to
don't
say,
need to discuss
Yeah,
it, Dan, but
just be good.
you get fired up. Now just do your call to action.
No, I'm not
Chained,
saying that-
Scrooge, you're
that's
chained for all time. Your afterlife's a horror story written by your
Really?
crimes.
You're going to sing a fucking musical in the first
Wait, what
60
song was that?
seconds?
That is from the Muppet Christmas Carol. Is what?
I'd like to look in your mind. I wish I could look in your mind and look at you would look in a clear storage bin just to see what's where in your brain. You have a lot of weird shit in there.
Oh,
man.
as always, call to action for you, Ryan. It's like, hey, subscribe to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star ranking.
I'd like to
and a
give your
text
call to
review.
action a 5-star
And then,
review.
I'm flipping Ryan off. You can't see this at home or in your car. And also, if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover on the show, tweet at us at Dorksplosion, and I'll retweet it to those guys on all their personal accounts at Danish and O'Neal and Do Idiot and all those guys, so you can ask one or all the jerks on this show to talk about something. Speaking of talking about something, we came up with a great topic during the break before we started doing it. So let's do this. What you were how do you want to? Jeff and Ryan are shooting a pilot, like a real short pilot for a web series. Would you even call it a pilot or
Another web series.
another web series?
To add on to our already
Famous
huge,
web series.
famous web series, Dana's Best.
Just can you?
Also,
stop?
weren't you in another web series called Dudes in Bed that was very popular?
I was drugged by the host of the show.
Okay.
Just
and
go
he put me
ahead.
in his bed.
If there are any guys out there who are a fan of looking at other men in their underwear,
the sad part is Dudes in Bed was basically just this podcast without you on it, Andrew, and it was in underwear on my wife's bed.
and you got paid to do it.
Not a lot, like nothing though. Like,
Wait, we didn't know there was
Yeah,
money involved.
You didn't get.
We didn't get paid anything.
I've reaped the dividends of girls not wanting to fuck me and my friends from home thinking I'm gay for years. You haven't?
Every once in a while,
You're welcome.
Is that not payment?
Jeff, do you have AIDS right now? No. You're welcome.
you'll
I
still
saved
get a
your life.
random phone call every once in a while, the weird message being like, "Hey, dude, I haven't talked to you in a while. Saw this weird thing of
I
you.
was
Let's
I was
call."
on a website where guys were talking about jerking off on my belly.
No,
Yeah,
but,
Andrew got put in the. We talked about the.
Yeah, yeah.
Andrew got put in a bear site, not by accident, but
you were in a
coincidentally.
legit
Myself.
thing, and then it got put on there.
Yeah.
We were in a thing that was super
They
gay.
posted my-
then
Yeah, it wasn't very hard to take what we did.
we skipped getting paid for the commercial, and we went right to the gay
in case
website.
you haven't listened to any others, I was in a commercial.
And if you haven't, fuck you.
I was in a
yeah, you
commercial.
should
A couple.
check them all out on iTunes.
I was in a few commercials that I guess larger, hairy gay men known as bears or chubs. Also,
Chubbs Peterson?
wanted to. They wanted to. Have
Also
sex
known
with
as my worst nightmare.
Andrew's
Because you can't
no,
fight
just
those
stop.
guys
Andrew
off.
was in a NyQuil commercial in a robe where he's sick, but the bear community found that very hot and put him on a Tumblr blog.
But the big bear
called
guys
Shabarama dot
are st-
whatever.
They scare me
.net,
at
I
times.
think.
Yeah.
And then also they posted my car commercial.
He was in
on
a
there,
Hyundai
so.
commercial in slow motion where he's upside down with his hair blowing back.
Have you ever been
And
recognized
they love that.
by a bear, like in public? Like, oh, it's the NyQuil guy.
No, I don't think so.
And they start
I don't-
coughing?
Bears don't talk like
I
that.
did once in
Right.
college.
They're more
Once in
macho.
college, I was at this bar that I guess was the only gay bar in town.
Blue Oyster?
But it wasn't a gay
Were you
bar.
dressed as a pirate or a medieval
no,
warrior?
it's dressed like this. And I thought,
Yeah, like a
I didn't-
pirate or medieval
I didn't
warrior.
know. I didn't know that the thing with gay dudes is eye contact or
Yeah.
whatever. And I thought this dude knew me.
Right?
'cause
Why
he
did
was-
you say that?
No,
Giving him, like,
because
the creepy.
that's why
Yeah.
I said that sometimes I get
that's what it's
sometimes
about.
like a big huge bear scares me because I always make
Oh, like-
a lot of eye contact. I don't realize I'm staring at you in a very creepy way.
Oh, like you're working
and then
out in
they're
the
like,
park?
"Oh, this guy totally."
You're working out shirtless in the park and just locking eyes with another dude.
Let me-
I saw this dude. Was staring
Yeah.
at me. And
Were
I
you
thought
were
he-
not-
sometimes I space
Griffith
off.
Park is notorious for like gay
Dude,
sex.
oh, have I told you my
That's where you
story
work
about
out.
walking on a guy's walking out of the bush? We'll
My
tell it
friend
after
Andrew
this.
DeWitt is telling a story.
So,
Sorry,
I looked at this guy because he was staring at me. I thought he must know me because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I think he was saying
You didn't even live in L.A. at this point,
No,
right?
I was in South Carolina. I was
He must
stoned.
blow
I
me.
was
You
stoned
thought you
off
were
my
famous in-
rocker too, and I don't get stoned anymore because it makes me too paranoid, and I was really paranoid. So I just waved at the dude, and he comes up behind me. He's this huge, big, burly black
Wait,
guy.
is it true that gay bears can run 30 miles an hour like regular
I
bears?
have no idea. He comes up behind me, starts grinding into my butt, and he's like, "Yeah, baby." Yeah, like that. I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is going on?" Then he like.
And he was way bigger than you.
Yeah, and he grabs my hand and like lets it like trickle out of his hand as he's walking towards the bathroom to get
So,
me to
like,
try to
oh,
fucking follow
man.
him. And I was like, I gotta get the fuck. I was there for
You
my
gotta get the
buddy's
fuck out of that
birthday
bathroom?
party, and I did not show up. I walked all the way fucking home. I was like, I can't handle it, dude. I didn't know what happened. I was like,
did you at least
were
get
giving-
his number?
You were giving off a vibe, dude.
I like
That's
the entire
kudos.
time he was walking towards me, I was smiling at him. I'm like, who is this guy? Do I know him? Like, and he's just zeroing in.
This guy
Why is he so
zeroing
friendly?
in for the
This guy
kill,
on an
man.
NFL team? I must recognize
He was
him.
a huge
Yeah, if he
dude.
wanted to take you, he could.
He'd bear you down.
I don't know. I mean, I
A
wasn't.
bear is a scary. If you get the wrong bear,
I don't think
no.
anything to do
If
with
you get the
Ryan.
wrong bear, an aggressive bear,
Bear Grylls?
What are you basing this off of?
I've experienced.
What
Were
experience?
you raped by a bear in the woods?
You had to fend.
I
fight
played
off.
dead while he fucked my ass.
Just don't look him in the eye. Let him do his
Wait,
business.
Okay, but so Ryan does like a prison style workout in a park here in Los Angeles, at Griffith Park, a lot of the time.
Well, no, I go to another park. But when I first moved to LA,
If you're a fan, please show up to these areas. Root him on.
He loves it when
I would
children
love
or other
if
people.
someone drove by and yelled, Motor City!
It's a call to action.
But anyway, Griffith Park is like if you go.
When
on
I
the internet,
first moved
it's
there,
notorious
I
as one of
lived-
the gay
yeah.
public hot spots.
I lived right at the base of Griffith Park, and I used to ride
Not a
my bike.
coincidence. No
and
coincidence.
Half the park is where you back in your car, and then dudes know you want to fuck, and then you go in the bushes.
You back in your ass.
So I was started on the side that isn't known for that, but I ended up on the other side riding down a hill, and I came down came down a trail on my bike, and I saw these dudes climbing out of the bushes, and the one dude was like wiping his mouth off, like he just got
Oh,
done blowing a guy.
Maybe he just finished drinking.
Yeah,
the
maybe they were
Slurpee
looking for
or
something.
Gatorade.
They
Yeah,
for-
lost.
Maybe they
lost
found
something.
some honey.
Peas.
They found honey in the
Yeah,
woods.
they found some honey and they
Andrew,
sucked it out
Andrew,
of the
fix
source.
your mic. It's not pointed towards
It's-
your mouth.
Maybe they found some honey.
Okay, no, you don't have to say the thing.
Dan, can you hear me?
Andrew's innocent response to anything traumatic.
And then he fucks it back.
It's from your years of rape therapy.
Maybe that big burly guy thought there was honey in my butt crack.
Apparently, the grocery store I go to, and I've seen you there,
What,
Dan.
pavilions or which one?
Ralph's.
Rockin' Ralph's?
Yeah.
That's just everything goes.
Supposedly, it's a cruising
Nah,
spot. A
that's-
gay comic told me it's like big on cruising.
Yeah, but prostitutes use that Ralph's, like scumbag. It's just like a Mos Eisley cantina. The pavilions they read it on the Santa Monica down by San Vicente. That's like a super.
Where's that? What's the address?
Okay, you know what?
I just want to know it so I can avoid it, Dan.
Speaking of gay couples, Danish and O'Neill recently recorded a new web series, a little presentation that we
A
just.
follow up to our hit "Daddy Knows Best."
It's a spin-off.
It's not.
really.
It is not a spinoff. It's something. It's called Danish and O'Neill. You
I
idiots.
really
No,
like
no.
your
If you
intro
saw
music, too.
saw the special Brownies episode where my character's in it and gets slapped, that character now is entering the Danish and the O'Neill, a new web series that we have.
Idiots. Anyway, can we just say what the plot? What happens?
No.
We'd rather not. We
No,
can
but-
talk about vague
Okay,
details.
Anyway,
it was
we were
shot in my apartment.
And it was
Which was
it-
kinda
it involves
stressful.
fake fucking, basically.
Simulated fucking, and I live in a.
Or
How
was
did
it
you-
simulated?
How did you simulate it?
They just mushed together.
I
and went,
Well,
will-
actually, there's a funny story on how O'Neill got one of his props. If you, I don't know if you want to share.
Well, I can't say who was with me, but the perfect panties were in a pack of like 5, but we only needed those.
Basically, you need to buy flesh color. You need to buy a flesh colored thong, like nylon, like see through.
Yeah.
Okay.
women's panties and wear it backwards.
And the
is what you
perfect,
did?
yeah, I wore them backwards, and then the stuff that usually goes up the vagina went up my butt.
Okay.
And
all right, but then you got a thong where your dick is, so you're
no,
fucking her.
no.
Like,
I didn't use.
what?
I actually didn't buy a thong. I used
Women's panties.
women's
like
panties,
full- granny
and I
panties.
used the area that covers their butt to cover my dick and balls, and used the skinny part to shove up my asshole.
Okay.
And so, how did you get? You're in the store.
And they were in a pack of like 5 or 6, but they were the perfect panties, and I didn't want to buy the pack. So the person I was with, I was against this.
How many times
Just
have you been in this
shoplift.
situation, listeners at home?
Where did you shoplift from?
How did the person?
Target. I didn't shoplift.
Target is the, like, public service announcement. Target is the worst place to
I didn't
ever
do it.
shoplift from.
I know.
They have literally hundreds of cameras in
and
all
guess
those
what?
stores.
When we were walking towards the door, I saw a security guard hike up his pants, and then he had like an earpiece in it, and I go, oh, shit, we're done.
How did the person
It wasn't
take
me.
it? How did this person take it?
It wasn't me.
How?
Yeah.
I can't say, but
the pocket?
they put it in a bag of sorts,
Like their vagina?
also known as a purse.
Vagina pouch?
Yeah,
No.
she stuffed it in her front.
We don't know if it was a girl.
Okay, let's just not.
Could have been a guy with
this
a
is a dumb
European
idea. You guys
attaché.
can't tell the story. 'cause
Guys,
it's
I love
Target.
Anyway, he wanted to bring up.
Mystery
So
stories.
anyway, all right. So then the panties were stolen. So we go on, and so I have to do 4 or 5 hours of simulated sex with my girlfriend.
Why did it take that long?
Yeah, how bad of an actor are you? Or fucker?
said
No, we had to do a lot of different angles.
Different
and
angles,
stuff.
different shots.
I saw one angle.
Well, there's a lot of stuff you didn't see.
What were you doing
All
that
right.
took 4 hours of
We
fucking?
took a lunch break for one.
These guys,
guys are
what I think it
idiots.
was the whole crew just loved to watch me simulate
See your
fuck her.
technique. They're trying to steal your
Well,
technique.
no one can steal my technique.
Well, speaking of fucking, and then I don't remember. This was before we started recording. We got in the topic of prostitutes.
Wait, no, time out.
Hold on.
Can I tell a story about the shooting?
Yes,
this thing?
yes.
Yeah.
please.
Okay, then we'll move to the prostitutes.
It's in my apartment. In my apartment building, if you've seen the Karate Kid, it's like very stereotypical. The California, the open apartment, and there's a
Like
pool.
a hotel.
Like
It's
it has a
hotel.
common area.
Yeah, and the pool in the middle. And so they're doing simulated fucking for, like you said, 3 to 4 hours. And there's loud fucking, because it has to be over the top, moaning. And so, like, you're seeing people walk by my place, and everyone could see that there was lights and stuff in there. And it's
They
being
thought you were
filmed.
filming a porno.
So basically now everyone in my building thinks I'm a pornographer.
As it should be.
And it's like I walked by somebody the other day, and like I don't know if it's in my head or not, but like got a real weird look.
I
Like,
they
feel
fuck-
like it's probably halfway in your head.
and the guy, one of
but
the
no,
guys,
guys were standing outside from
Like
the
the-
crew that were like just taking a break, and they're like, "Dude, it's echoing throughout this whole place."
like so people
hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put up like screenshots of the finished product so they know like.
No,
hey,
and then, like
haha,
what? And
we
what's
did
to
this.
tell somebody in my apartment building? There's
You
a man,
should have
there's
a
a woman,
screening.
there's a light crew. Like, what's to tell them that there was not
Why
pornography?
can't
being
you
filmed in
leave
there?
a note that says
This is
two
a porno-
residents?
But that-
Two residents.
No, I think
That's it.
he should have a big screen and a screening, and then they can see that it was actually a porno.
But I think
more or less.
I think if you leave out a note, it's basically saying I'm completely guilty of this, but I
Oh,
want
like
everyone here
the
to know.
Like last episode,
Yes.
when DeWitt went and said the shitty underpants weren't his when they were in fact
Hey,
his.
by the
I
way,
think it fingers
it
you
must
as
have
the
been
criminal.
it must have been Anthony making those sounds in my apartment.
I'm not good at lying. I guess.
I saw Anthony run to Taco Bell and make a porno and then rub chilies on it and leave it out here.
There was there's a real nosy woman in my building.
Oh,
There's
no.
a small dog that barks, and this lady goes so fucking crazy that she takes her camera phone and will walk outside and try to get footage. I don't know what she plans on doing with it. And the other lady who has
She's
the dog,
documenting
the
it.
lady who has the dog is like, you're making him bark. Get out of here. They start
And
fighting.
then the lady will be like, "I got it all on tape."
and
I
they
got
start
it all
they
on
start bickering. And she was milling around during the shoot, and I was like, she's gonna knock on my door and be like, what's going on in there?
Want to be in the
Thank
porno.
God she did not.
You guys.
Do you think she just didn't because she was too busy masturbating?
I mean, Ryan has a story where
Once she shows
somebody
up
called the
later.
cops on loud fucking. It wasn't
Oh,
him
yeah.
doing it.
It was my ex-girlfriend lived next door to me, and her neighbor fucked so loud with the windows open that not only the manager had to tell her, "You got to stop fucking so loud," but eventually people just called the cops on her, and the cops came and told her, "You have to stop fucking so loud."
was
Ma'am,
the guy just like, yeah, I fuck
Ma'am,
loud.
No, it's like different guys. She had a lot of different guys coming in and out. They would literally fuck like in the middle of their living room with a big bay window, and it would be open. And I'm like, I mean, it was ridiculous.
ma'am, we appreciate your vigor and enthusiasm for fucking. You just need to tone it down a couple
it down.
notches.
My ex-girlfriend used to like to do that with the window open in Chicago. And one time when she was coming super loud, this dude goes, "Right on, brother." Like, right into the fucking window.
Were you on the first floor?
Yeah, we were on the first floor. Another,
Who was it? Hulk Hogan? Who talks like that?
That's pretty awesome. That's all.
right on, brother.
Hey, brother.
Then he threw a ripped up shirt through the window for a souvenir.
And another time, two black ladies were walking by, and they go, "Girl, you know what that is."
Were you recording the sounds on the outside?
No, I just like was getting a mild ego boost from it, I guess. You know.
It was your own fuck show.
Yeah, it was.
So you, O'Neill and Andrew grew up in different parts of the country, completely different people, don't look alike, but they are so similar. At one time, you were both on the internet.
I don't want to get too deep into this.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in time where prostitution was my kryptonite.
What? You both got fascinated with the idea of prostitution one time, and you were researching online for prices, and then at one point, Ryan, you were like keeping up with the prices to see how they were going.
Where does one keep up with prices? Craigslist?
No, there's dude. If you just type in, you can find specific people too, and you can read the reviews. And there's all sort of prostitution sites that are set up where you can check out.
Can we check some reviews
It's different
right
than
now?
when I was doing
you were
it.
checking the prices.
My
and
buddy-
stuff?
This is back when they put out a fan magazine before the internet. You had to
My buddy,
subscribe.
I'll let Andrew talk about
zine?
this.
One of my buddies, Danny, I remember in high school when he turned 16, he hired a prostitute to take his virginity
That's
from him.
terrible.
And we all
He
made
had no faith in himself.
Good on
Like,
paper, bad and when it's done.
we all made fun of him. We were like, that's stupid. And I remember
Where did he get it? A
my
hotel?
buddies being like, I would never pay for sex. You know, like we're all saying that shit.
Were
right?
you guys wearing armor and training?
But then I remember in college and right after college, like thinking to myself, that was genius. Like that kid was genius because he got it out of the way, and then he was like able to fucking.
But why
like,
not
talk
get it
to
out of the way
girls
with a
and
real
stuff.
chick?
Well,
Or you're able to talk to girls. You're like, I fucked hookers.
That guy-
Come on, lady.
And that guy
You're
was
gonna
like-
give me tuned.
AIDS,
it-
maids, fuck
and,
you.
and it warped that guy where he thought he could he was probably often trying to pay chicks in high school like, hey, fuck me. And
Just
like,
fuck me,
it
come
doesn't
on.
work like that.
Nah, it does. I've done that. I trust me.
does that work? I don't know.
You
No,
paid
that-
girls
that's
to
what he
fuck
said.
you
No.
in high school, Dan?
No, I'm saying the
He's
guy
saying
is
the
the guy is
guy.
the high school. He's like, no, like they won't fuck you. Like, no, I've done it. You know, I'm
works.
16. I fucked.
Well, and I mean, how many times you had a girlfriend or who'd you lose your virginity to? Unless he lies, he's gonna have to say.
Yeah,
hooker.
I bought a hooker because that's a very odd, like obscure. Like not most guys don't do that move.
Well, in college, one of my buddies was like, "Well, you know, do you think we could do it? Do you think we could get a hooker and not get busted?"
Get one.
By who? The
like
cops?
one each. You know,
By the cops or the
yeah,
dorm?
by the cops or whatever. Like
Or-
we never
or
By the
got-
cops.
Yeah.
You two idiots would get two undercover cops. That's what you would have to do.
And they'd be like
then
dudes
everyone
in
on the
drag.
And then everyone on the floor would know, and you'd be like, dude, it was totally.
That's like the most.
Anthony went to Taco Bell and got his
Tony's.
two
It was
prostitutes.
Tony's sister and her
That's
friends.
like the most achievable goal. It's like, do you think we can get dinner before 9 p.m.?
Well, it felt completely
You think we could get
unachievable.
prostitutes? If we had a lot of money,
You
could
felt
we
like
get
you're doing something like
prostitutes?
really illegal.
Yeah, so we spent like 2 weeks looking it up, like looking up how.
Here's
like,
two guys that can't pull the trigger on something.
this is before Google, so we're using Alta Vista. I don't know if you remember that search engine. Alta
It was the
Vista.
better. It was the better.
It was the better
one
one,
of the best search
before Google
engines.
came out, and we were looking up like how do you get prostitutes? Like we didn't know.
Did you
fucking
ask
any-
Jeeves? Well,
We didn't know how to do it at all, you know. And then we're reading prostitute reviews, and I got like obsessed with it because it was like so real to me. I was like,
Yeah,
"What? I could
it
just
makes
pay."
you really horny because you're like, I could be fucking within the next hour and a half
what did the reviews
Exactly.
say?
if she's available.
These chicks probably wrote that review or like themselves.
Or their
Sure.
pimp or whoever.
Who cares?
Some
Why
of the
shatter
stuff
the
is like-
fantasy?
Pimp is, that's part of being a pimp these days. You
A
have to
lot
work
of this stuff was
WordPress.
like she let me
PR background.
She let me kiss her. It felt like she was really my girlfriend. It was such a romantic.
I didn't feel
thing.
sad like I do most often in my life.
You know where you need to go is Amsterdam.
No, I don't. I'm married.
He's married,
Why would
so
I?
he can't.
Well, before, if you had a time machine, you should join me on a trip to Amsterdam, my friend.
Maybe-
Oh yeah, you went to Europe a bunch of the high. So do you fuck hookers in Amsterdam?
I'm not gonna say, but I will just say this.
I
I like to partake.
I bet so.
Every time I went there, I planned on staying 5 days, and after 3, I'd partake in so much of the culture that I go, I'm literally gonna die.
I'm broke and have AIDS.
And
I
my
have to leave.
penis
have
is
to
turning
leave.
a weird shade of black and gray. It's like
have-
E.T.'s cock.
I have to leave because you put me in a land where I can indulge in everything that I want. You know I'm going to go overboard because that's what I do. I have no self-control, so I just went overboard everything.
What was the most hookers you've had sex with in one day? or went to?
Dan, we'll talk about the drugs. If you want to talk about the mushrooms, I took the 10 grams of mushrooms and I almost thought I was going to die. 10 grams.
So 10 prostitutes.
10 prostitutes.
That's good. That's good, O'Neill Morse
Well,
code
all right.
reading.
After those mushrooms, after I was coming down, we were smoking weed. I had to go into this bar in the bathroom and jerk it to see if I could get a boner, to see if I could fuck hookers.
Jesus Christ.
This is like a low point in my life. I was pretty like, I was really getting crazy.
Did like your soul brother who mentioned this in a past podcast, did you pray to the Lord for a boner?
Like DeWitt, did you pray?
No,
for a boner?
I just go, I'll probably, when she starts sucking it, it'll probably work.
If you pay and you can't perform,
See,
is that out of luck?
Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine was fucking this hooker for so long and couldn't come that she finally turns while doggy style going, you need to pay more money. And it was like,
What did Ryan say?
Yeah, what did different Ryan say?
I have a friend named Ryan, which is weird. Because I was so
like
fucked up and wasted. And I said, how much? I mean, did my friend say? And she goes, my friend goes,
your friend's name was I, right?
yeah.
Was it short for Ivan?
He's an Indian guy. He's an Indian guy. So,
Incrimination.
no, I is his name. So, this guy.
So what did I say? No, wait, what did you say? It's like having to cut down.
No, use his brother. Use his brother.
No, you wasn't there. It was just I.
Was sometimes why in the room jerking off on the floor?
Dan, you should never get any of us involved in any crime ever. If we ever have to take the witness stand, we are fucked. If you get us on a witness stand,
My
dude.
friend heard of a thing.
So this guy goes, how much? And she goes, 60 guilders. And he's so wasted, which is like, 120 guilders, which is like $60. He gave her 120 American dollars.
Oh,
He just started throwing it at her and going, no, we're going to keep going. We're going to finish this.
Was she appreciative to the dude who gave
To
her
the
the
extra
money?
money?
I don't know. He didn't get that far into the story, so I don't know.
I bet she felt like Pretty Woman being fucked by Richard Gere. The way he threw the money in her face and said, no, we're going to keep going.
Idiot.
So let's not talk about prostitution anymore.
That really tickled DeWitt's fancy. He stood up and was staring me down while cackling like that. It was,
It's because you called him out before when he said he was fucking that fat girl and he was like, we didn't fuck her at first, we just fucked with her I just fucked with her tits, and he said, ooh, so romantic.
Ryan Romance, dude.
And then it's just like Pretty Woman. It's just like throwing wads of money in her face. Holy fuck, I'm
such a bad
gonna
person.
fucking explode. I'm gonna explode. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. That is absolutely not like Pretty Woman. Just, if anyone's
Terrible. That's like a story a prostitute would tell a young prostitute to get out of the game.
You wanna get
They're
in
gonna
this?
fuck you so long they'll throw money in your face and say keep going.
I have a story parallel to that.
I think we should
Wait, were you fucking a hooker?
we should move on because my friends didn't tell me the other stories.
I have a parallel tangent. In high school,
holy fuck.
in high school, my friends and I got real into having strippers, but to like somebody's living room, just to entertain like a group of underage guys. And so I have a couple stories.
No, I have buddies that figured that. Like my friends all figured that around 16 or 17. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, we can just get money and go to the yellow
Yeah.
because there was no internet. We can go to the yellow pages and they'll just show up.
you call them up.
But then the first time they show up and they have like a suitcase pimp with the guy that stands in the corner. While
A lot
they
of
dance,
times they do.
That gets real weird. 'Cause they're
But-
like, is this guy gonna be here the whole time? He's like, yep. And you're like,
we had
oh,
a guy.
cool.
We had a guy like that at the first one I ever saw, and he was making stock jokes that you knew he had practiced.
he
He's
has
like,
like
hey, she like bent over, like, hey, anybody see my high school ring? And like looks around, but like he was like 40, and we're like 8. We're like, no, get out of here, dude, you're ruining it. So there was a time this lady showed up, and it was at my buddy's place, and it was just me and him there, and she's like, do you have the money? And we had like a truck full of people coming, and it's just me and him, and she's in like the raincoat that they were like the trench coat. And we're
Like
like
the London fog.
And we're like, the money's coming, and you're like kind of talking to her, be like, this is so weird.
like
and so
making
we had to
short
stall
stuff
her.
and
We're like,
small
it's cool,
talk.
it's cool. So all these guys come, and she didn't have a bodyguard. And so this lady just looks at me and she's like, you look trustworthy. And she starts giving me all the money that guys were giving her.
To hold on to?
And so I'm just, anytime she turned
You're-
her back,
you're a pimp.
I'm just redistributing
You're a
it.
pimp.
I'm just redistributing the same money that's just flowing to her repeatedly.
Oh, you piece of shit.
At
You were
least-
like a fucking dirty pimp in high school.
I don't know why she thought why would give it to me, but she did.
Well, at least O'Neill's friend
paid
like fucking
paid double.
down. He paid.
Well, wait a second, dude. Should I tell that
Ryan's friend had to pay for the extra money.
I have more stories.
Okay. Well, so yeah, but if Ryan wants to jump in and incriminate a friend, like, why would you not let him do that?
No, so this stripper was terrible. She puts on the boombox, like, it was terrible. Not that the music matters, but
What song was she doing?
It was like 80s shitty music. And so she would look at us and be like,
I want to dance with somebody.
She'd look at us and be like, what should I do? I'm like, this is your first day? Like, dance and show us your tits. I don't know.
Take my breath away.
So we got
There's
these.
a lot of Berlin was stripped too in the 80s.
We were like juniors or seniors in high school, and these younger guys are like, hey, heard you guys really like getting strippers. Like, we're getting one. Come, like, hang out. We're like, yeah, fine. So we go hang out. Some of these kids look like fucking no older than like 11. They were like probably 15. And she's like, are these guys 18? We're like, yeah. And so this lady shows up. It's the same lady who handed me the money. I was like, we've seen so many strippers that we just got this. She's like, I remember you boys. And we're like, oh God, it's so low.
She sucks.
So at this, she did have a bouncer this time. She must have realized that we ripped her off. So she's doing a spread eagle on the carpet. Like
underwear?
No underwear. Yikes. And so this guy who's a bit of a scumbag.
Oh, no.
He was younger than us. Like,
the bouncer or just a guy?
A guy watching with us, but he was like this younger guy. He rolled up his dollar bill and threw it as hard at her pussy, like you would throw the Velcro ball at the Velcro dartboard.
Yeah.
And it just like stuck, and it made this like splat noise, and it like slowly trickled down. And one of his scumbag friends is like, "Oh, that looks awesome. I'm going to do the same thing." So people start like throwing. And she's like, "That hurts." And the bouncer's like, "Not cool, guys. Cut it out. Cut the money. Throw it out."
That's awful.
And it was like that moment where you're like, "This is what's going on. These guys are degrading
you're
this
like,
woman."
I'm doing something so wrong, and I don't know how to stop.
And like I didn't want that to go on, but I was
you got like a roll of nickels, just winged her.
I was like, hey guys, it's cool to redistribute the dollar bills. It's not cool.
Yeah, it's cool to steal from them, but don't degrade them, guys.
Now I feel.
Well, okay. Look,
Oh boy,
O'Neill's dying to
I'm
jump in here.
gonna have to tell a story about a stripper.
Your friend I?
No. Well, first of all, my cousin's or my buddy's cousin was a stripper, and I once caught him getting a lap dance from her.
No,
from his own cousin.
Yeah.
First cousin.
Yeah.
Well, you did grow up in Indiana.
So, but
Good old
This,
Valpo.
That's better than pulling a dead fetus out of a fucking
Pigs when you were six. For your 6th birthday.
Definitely a better day.
this I was a younger guy.
How old?
In my early 20s.
Hanging out with high school sophomores.
So my buddy was getting married.
There I was, 26 years old.
So my buddy was getting
My
married.
girlfriend up from middle
Oh,
school.
I know where this story is
So
going.
my buddy
I don't
was
like
getting married.
it. I don't like it.
Should I not tell?
No, just tell it. Danish, don't cockblock us.
I was going through some stuff. I was a destructive kid. I didn't know where my
understand.
outlet
I
was.
understand.
You hadn't
The
discovered
world
stand-up
was my
comedy.
outlet.
You used to be the quarter stick bandit. I mean,
Wait, I have a quick-
The world was my outlet.
Quick pre-story question: is this the two-pronged?
Two-pronged attack, yeah.
Okay.
So
Proceed.
my buddy was getting married, and he decided to have the bachelor party at his house. So we got a few strippers to come over,
Yeah.
and I had just gotten poison ivy.
Oh boy.
And
First prong.
so these girls were a little looser than irregular. Like, you could put your fingers on their vagina as long as you didn't go inside their
Which
vagina.
seems like a weird rule.
Yeah, like on the.
Seems like you're
touching
So she's
all
like-
the outside parts.
She's
just
like,
not
it's $1 if you want to just put your hands on my vagina for a few
It
seconds.
seems like you're splitting pubic hairs. Like you can touch it and put your hand
Don't
there.
finger it. No,
So,
that's-
and then I started getting really wasted, and like, I'm not going to incriminate anybody.
The
but
O'Neill
like,
leer started
people,
coming out.
then people were really cheering me on, and like, this girl was on the ground, and she's like, "You can feel up my tits and everything. You get on top of
Fuck
me,
with my tits.
take your shirt off, and get on top of me." So I'm just like rubbing my poison ivy all over her tits and body. And
you
then,
are the Richard Gere of fucking
Why?
sex
and
industry.
I was like,
Why?
and, so,
Why?
and then we went into
How did no one
another
know? You
room.
can you not see poison ivy?
Dude, everyone's wasted and it's like dark. You know, it's not like no one wants fucking fluorescent lights when there's strippers around. And it's like all up and down my arm. And it just started breaking out. And so I just rubbing it all over this lady.
Why?
Why?
And like, because
human
I
being.
got it.
This is what
But
you
no,
get for entertaining us.
Listen, one, I think I probably changed her life, and she probably isn't a stripper, and she's probably doing something more. Two.
Wow, that's a good story. Thank you.
Everyone was cheering me on to like fucking rub those tits, and I was rubbing it. I got lost in the
thank God
moment.
They were saying poke that pussy on some like fucking
But she
pinball
was-
machine, you
she
rapist.
They were chanting sociopath.
She was loving it, and then
She was
when we
loving it.
left. We let all the air out of their tires.
Why? You're like, the poison ivy was not aggressive
And then
enough.
I was with.
You wanted to trap
Look,
strippers at the house. You
I was with
stupid?
another guy who I'm pretty close with, who's a complete fucking maniac. So when we get together, it's like the most volatile.
I don't even like being with them when they're together.
It's volatile. It's out of control. So I was like, I just wiped the fucking poison ivy all over that chick's tits, and then
Let's show him some more lessons.
And then he's like, and then on the way out, we're fucking. I mean, we are so out of control when we're together and wasted. It's like illegal. And then I was like,
illegal.
It's literally illegal.
I go, let's let the air out of these chicks' tires. And then he's like, I'll get the back ones, you get the front. And then
do they have a bouncer with them?
they have a guy, but
Did you
he's,
guys-
he's friends with my buddy who's
They
throwing the
clearly
bachelor
knock
party.
back on the door. Hey, who's the asshole?
No.
who let the
Did you guys
air
ever,
out?
did you guys fuck in the hood of the car, you and your friend, after you let the tire
But then my buddy
They
was like,
high-fived and
my
kissed.
buddy who had the wedding or the bachelor party, like called me the next day. He's like, dude, some assholes let the air out. But with this guy, we used to go down the highway and like shit he didn't want, like furniture, we would push it out onto the highway and watch it just disintegrate.
Were there other cars?
Wait.
No, it'd be like at night.
Oh, so they'd hit it when it was.
Oh, hold on. So I read about that stripper story. It was on Jezebel.com Man of the Year. The Man of the
told
Year
you.
award.
I feel bad about it now too.
You want to hear the?
Wait, before you tell another stripper story, here's something that's going to make me seem a little childish.
I like it.
I've never seen a stripper.
What?
Not
I
once.
get too intimidated.
At a house?
I've gotten 2 free lap dances.
Strip clubs, I think,
What
are
does that
bad.
mean?
I've never been in a strip
Strip
club.
clubs?
Wait, did you buy one after that to
No.
like show your gratitude? Bullshit.
No,
Strip
I
clubs
didn't.
to me are just like girls ask me, "Do you like?" I'm like, "No, I don't like them." They think I'm just saying it to try to make myself seem like I'm like better.
Yeah.
But to me, they're just depressing. It's like because you see the guys there who are suckers and they're just giving
When
all
you're
their
like,
money away.
when you're like 18 or 19, it's like
It's
the
fine
magical
then.
thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
saying like
older,
20s.
Well, dude,
30s.
even-
Yeah, once I got in my late 20s, like I'd go, like people like, oh, we're gonna meet.
Yeah,
at a
like,
strip
let's
club.
go, and you go
Oh,
and
we're
you're
gonna do a strip
so
like
sad.
like 10 even like
After like 5 minutes, you're like, this, okay, I'm not fucking any of these girls. This
Yeah.
sucks.
When there's some guys who are so bored with it that they treat it like a Starbucks and they're like reading a newspaper, like they're just like, oh, there's a naked woman, I'm not even gonna look at it.
Dude, we
Like,
used to
they're there
go,
so much.
when I was 21, we used to go to this strip club in Chicago every Tuesday because you could pay a $10 cover and you could drink all the beer you want. So it's $10, all you can drink, thinking that you're going to get lap dances, but we never did. And we like, finally, after like several months of going, we got so annoyed that these chicks were like harping on us to get a lap dance that we just quit going.
Did they
Totally
change? Did they
ruined it.
change their rule?
They
or
were
no?
pissed. They hated us. They're like, oh, these fucking assholes.
Back where I'm
Only here
from,
for the beer.
there's a restaurant, is a pizza chain called Papagino's. It's just New England based, and they had this. They had a number menu, and like you could get is like on Wednesdays you could get unlimited breadsticks if you got off this number menu, and so we found the loophole, and so we would get one buddy would get like the ziti with the unlimited breadsticks, and then he would just keep going up and up and up and getting like
Was it
literally like
Fazoli's?
no, it's called Papagino's, and
Oh.
you literally get like 6 to 7 orders of breadsticks, and we would do it, and like the manager would be like, "This is unacceptable," and he'd be like, "Look at the man, it says it, man. It says unlimited." Like, and so then finally we changed the policy. It was no longer it was done away with, no longer unlimited.
This guy's. That's why you're the mayor. You change policy.
Wait, I gotta wait.
You're making
This is a
changes.
story we've been promising. When you letting the air out of the strippers' tires is not when you let the air out of the high school.
This is a reoccurring error
what
out of
is-
the.
well, this is
You're a
this
vandal.
Is one of your go-tos.
You're a vandal.
You never told
I'm
the
a
story.
vandal.
You never promised.
But I'm probably.
What's the story?
I'm also a very creative vandal.
a junior or senior. Whoa, letting the air out of the
make it
strippers'
sign.
tires is creative.
No.
Make it signed by Creative
It's pretty
Artist
funny.
Agency.
It's pretty funny.
Oh,
we used to do
you mean
stuff with
CVA, Creative
roadkill and
Vandal
stuff.
Agency?
I remember my brother shot a rabbit in our front yard, and then we were driving, and he saw this guy didn't like, and his window was down. He just threw the fucking guy's car.
Were you like? Was your family known as like? There go the O'Neills. Don't fuck with them.
No, we were. It was totally like that. It was like
They got dead rabbits. They got air out of the tires.
Did you guys have lead pipes?
You
in
guys
your
were
house or something?
we had lead paint, and I had to scrape it.
I have. Do you
Because
know
there's
Adam
like a
Sandler?
level of aggression.
Oh, there is.
Family
Do you know Adam
that's like-
Sandler? The O'Doyles may have been based on the O'Neills. Just change what happens after the O apostrophe.
O'Neill rule.
We used to do like
O'Neill. I have a
we used to
feeling
do
something
funny
bad.
stuff like we would. I love stealing street sawhorses, like city sawhorses.
Who doesn't?
And then I would block off streets, so guys would be speeding down my street, and it would be dark, and then you just hear them lock up their brakes.
And they killed somebody. It was
No.
awesome.
Oh, well, you know, one time we have a festival every year. I don't know if I told this story.
Yeah,
Just when you
I
stole
don't
the
think
stop
so.
sign and your girlfriend's brother.
No. We have a
Got
thing.
decapitated.
Orville Redenbacher grew up in Valparaiso.
Orville.
So every year to honor him, we have a popcorn festival.
What a great.
It has parades. 100,000
amazing.
people flock to our area.
What a shitty town you
Your
grew up
towns
in.
don't have it.
Guess what? Everything's
shit
dead in every other town when the popcorn fest's going on because everybody flocks.
By the way, quick tangent. I Googled Orville Redenbacher because he always says he was born in his town. And according to like a Wikipedia or something, it says he was born in a neighboring town and he went crazy.
No, because I drove by his fucking house.
Now, how
He must
dry?
have moved there then.
How dry are people's throats in town at the fucking popcorn festival? Dude,
No,
that's
everyone's
fucking
boozing it up.
awful.
So every year,
The Butter Festival merged with it.
It would have to.
so every year I find a couch out in the street and I rope off my front yard and we booze it up in the front yard because everyone's walking by and I live 2 blocks from the parade route.
Club
So
O'Neill.
There's
we
a parade
start
for the popcorn.
Oh, dude, it's a
thing?
huge fucking thing.
What do you see?
And they sell arts and crafts. It's a huge parade.
Everything you don't want.
Is
in
there
one place.
cattle?
Like any big giant parade, dude. It has
But
everything.
is there a popcorn theme?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
yes,
was wondering.
there's a popcorn
Is there-
princess.
popcorn
floats.
princess.
does she have big titties with corn kernels on them?
She got popcorn nips.
And then O'Neill shaved off her
No.
head.
Do you want to fucking?
Fire.
So we booze it up at like 9 a.m. We're sitting there boozing it up, me and all my buddies, and then we go this one year, the last year that I went because I figured it was time to hang it up.
I sense a triple P coming up, a popcorn parade prank coming our way.
Well, there's a few of them. So we go.
But you live 2 blocks away from the thing you're gonna
Yeah.
fucking
Hey,
sabotage.
and then,
otherwise.
like-
Quadruple P, plural popcorn parade.
yeah,
All right.
double.
So
Double
my
down.
town's like a real like
shithole.
a Midwestern
where
town.
sadness goes to
There's
die.
like a main strip and there's like old buildings and shit. So we were on the roof of one of the old buildings as the
With
parade
sniper rifles.
went on.
Oh boy! I
And
did
so we're
not
like,
this.
we're heckling the floats.
What are you saying? What are you
Like,
saying?
You have a
Nice
you're-
popcorn
No.
head.
Like one of them is a Hummer, and the kid drove by and I kept yelling, "I would love a Hummer."
How old were you at this point?
32 years old.
I was pretty young. But then we're also heckling. Oh, one of the guy, the mayor of our town, Bob. No, wait, what's his
Who I'm
name?
sure loved you.
It's not Bob. His last name is Costas. It's not. I'm thinking of Bob. But we were heckling on what a piece of shit he is, and he was on a fucking loudspeaker.
Could people hear you?
He was saying like, "Thank you, to Valparaiso." Oh, dude, everybody started looking up at us, and we were saying what a piece of shit he is, and fuck him. I think he opened or did something in the town, and we were saying the worst, filthiest shit.
Should've put that skate
And he
park
kept
over
saying-
there.
And he kept saying, "That's inappropriate. That's inappropriate." Finally, the cops come. And we fucking first we make it. We see them coming, and so we go.
Does it turn into a movie like a parkour building to building
It was
jump?
kind of like that because we were on the roof.
White trash parkour.
We were on the roof of the girl we had the threesome with.
Your
we
fat
were,
buddy laid across like a bridge from a building.
we were hiding in her apartment, and they were beating on the door, and we had all this tar on our shoes, so it was tracked all over her carpet.
Which I'm sure she loved.
So anyway, we escaped that.
Is this before or after you guys laughed while you fucked her?
This is before.
Oh, you are romantic.
No,
man.
hold on. So then I go, look, we need, because everyone's driving around in golf carts, we need a golf cart. So all the golf carts are parked out in front of the police
This
station.
is another day.
No, same day.
Same day. You're like, let's press our luck. No
So,
way.
No.
We go.
No whammies.
So there's this like a 5-row. Have you ever seen the giant stretched golf cart?
No.
A 5
Like the ones they drive at
It's
like
like a-
Disney?
Oh, like a pickup truck, sort of. But a golf cart?
It's fucking.
Yeah.
And you can
That's a
fit.
tram.
No. It's kind of like that, but it was a golf cart. And so it was right out, and there was a cop by it. I go, you know what? Fuck this. I go, we get on this thing like we own it. And we just hopped on it right next to the cop. I turned it on. We took off. But these things are used to transport people around.
Probably
so
handicapped children.
No,
that get
no.
old or that like.
So I had to stop because these people were crossing.
Oh no!
All these old ladies get on holding arts and crafts, and I'm wasted out of my fucking mind. And the lady goes, I'm parked in the parking lot like C or something. And I go, oh my God, I have to drive this fucking lady. So I'm hauling ass down this street, and like somebody in another golf cart comes. I have to swerve out of the way. This lady has this huge craft. And it just gets ripped off by a stop sign. It just rips it, breaks it in half, and rips it off. And she's like, driver, you broke my craft. And
Slow down.
And I can barely steer because I can't fucking see it. All my friends are dying laughing.
Why can't you see?
Because I'm so drunk, out of my fucking mind. Christ.
Why are they laughing? Why are they laughing?
Because the old lady's craft just got ripped in half.
And there's an impending murder.
And I'm like hauling ass in this cart. And I'm literally jumping up on curbs, driving through lawns.
I picture like the 80s movie, like a guy's moving the pane of glass.
Yeah, it was like that. So finally, we dropped these ladies off at their fucking cart.
Did you drive through a fruit stand?
No, but we did drive through a concert.
Middle Eastern Bazaar.
There was like a guy at a concert, and then everyone stands like 5 feet away, so we drove through like right there. Why? And we were like,
You could have killed
we're like
someone.
yelling at people, and then we finally
wanted a Hummer.
We finally abandoned that one and took another one, drove it down a flight of stairs at the college. And then we were driving down the road and a cop was behind me and I freaked out. So I was at the wheel. I just jumped off of it and took off running. And it went crashed in a tree and my buddy fell out. I took off running. And the cop stopped him and he's like, where'd the driver go? He goes, I don't know. He goes, where'd you get this car? And he goes, I don't know. He just picked me up. He said he worked here.
Your buddy thought fast. He thought fast.
Here,
How did the
but
cops not know who you were?
They did. They used to. Okay, well, I'll tell you the story.
Going to the old
Hold on.
place.
But then I passed out. I passed out on a couch, and then
Outside or inside?
outside with my other buddy on the couch. And then we woke up at like
Spooning.
6 o'clock, and we stopped some girls for a ride, and they were in high school. And I asked the girls if they ever heard of Ryan O'Neal, and they're like, "That's that guy that dressed up as a retarded guy."
The
And I go,
legend.
So why?
Yeah, he's a decent
Why don't
guy.
people like this? Is the same town?
Why are
right?
you not kicked out? Why were you not arrested or banned or whatever?
So weren't they?
I went to jail.
So, but didn't they?
We
Why do you say it
vandalized.
so matter of factly proud.
He served his time, Dan. He's reformed.
Now, didn't they have before every time anyone had any sort of parade, they did like an O'Neal parameter check?
yeah, like
a
check, like
checklist?
perimeter check.
Where are the
You know what?
O'Neals?
Why didn't
You
they
know what
just-
the sad
Why
thing
didn't
is?
they just
send you on a vacation.
preemptively
They should
lock
send
you
you guys.
in jail
They
like
should
a
send the O'Neals
werewolf?
on a cruise every year for a week.
Why don't they just preemptively
Oh.
lock O'Neal in the jail like a werewolf before every major event?
like in a western.
You know, there was a sign when you come into my town. You
The
go
home of
across
the O'Neals?
You
Don't
go
fuck
no,
with
you
them?
come across Highway 30, and it was all white, and I spray painted "Coming Soon" Ryan O'Neal, and it was on there for like 6 months. And
How
so-
big?
Like a giant billboard.
Your own name?
Yeah, coming
You
soon.
vandalized your name.
You're the worst
on a
tagger
billboard.
in the history
And
of tagging.
because it was on
you
our
put a
it was
map
on
to
our
your house?
property. It was on our property.
For more good
And-
jokes, come to my home address, which is
So,
as follows.
but no, it was great because then the city came to my parents once and they said they need to make changes
What?
to their motel. And one of the things they brought up was a picture of the sign that said "Coming Soon, Ryan O'Neal."
Did you spell
And
it?
it says-
Was it C-U-M-S?
No,
please? Oh.
I didn't want to go that
That
crazy.
would have really made it. It really would have put the sign over the edge.
But but I was always deny everything, and if they don't have evidence, you can't fucking do anything.
But
to me.
you
And
always
you can't
get
scare me.
caught.
You can't intimidate me.
You want to hear the?
What does that mean?
You can't. Cops come. I'm not. I'm not gonna fucking freak out. I'll be like, no, I didn't
Yeah,
do
because
it.
they keep coming to your house because every time there's a public event,
You
you
committed
shoot somebody or you go
Well,
on some
when-
kind of crime rampage.
I'm also
Heckle the mayor.
here. Okay, so
Who heckled the mayor? In a
Danish,
small
that
town?
guy was a
be
piece
kidding.
of shit. He was cheating on his wife too.
That
Danish,
was
you're the mayor of Boner City. You better look out.
I
He's
might
heckling
get-
you.
that was literally just the start of the day. I think you have neglected the fact that an old lady probably had a heart attack after going on like what must be
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride
a
of Death.
nightmare ride. Like, could you?
A drunken hellscape.
Sometimes I look back on that, I go, man, what a great day that was.
If we start making money, and when we start making money on this podcast,
He's gonna lose it
we
all.
need to go to the popcorn parade as the
Oh,
Boner
dude.
City.
Yeah, they'll love it.
And
And a t-shirt.
a live pop Ryan
Oh,
O'Neill returns
we put
home.
O'Neill. We disguise him and we ask people if they heard about O'Neill, and he's like fucking Sasquatch. Everyone's heard of him.
I've never-
He's like Bill Brasky. He's like, he's 7'2". And he,
My grandmother almost died driven in a cart by that Ryan O'Neill if I ever see him.
Well, then you might get in trouble, Danish, because you'll be beaten off in the bobbing for apples.
If you want to hear a story about what I was up to in high school, I'll give you.
you toilet papered somebody's doghouse one time.
It's about that
Fucking
level, but
nerd.
it's more subversive. So
it's cerebral. Brain.
when we were in high school,
We went and parked in front of their house and we thought about
we
how
stole all the
stupid they were.
newspapers. We blacked in squares in the crossword puzzle so
Not
people
true.
couldn't solve them.
so the cops in my town, like cops in any small town, had raging boners to get underage arrests under their belt. And we would go to high school or like local school parking lots, and we would all hang out, like Dazed and Confused style, like a place
Yeah.
to meet up. It was pre-cell phone, so you would just drive school, you'd look around for people, and you'd go and hang out. There was a room, and there was like a wooded area above one of them with like you could drive a car in it, but like you weren't supposed to, like you could. It was paved, but no cars went up there.
It's
And
like
there-
a service road, or access
yeah, and there were
road.
rumors that their cops would like do surveillance from there because they would come in and they would know just who to go up to who had an open container and fucking arrest them. So there was a night where like no one was around, and I was like said to my friends, "Let's go to the grocery store. I've seen them. They sell like 32 or 40 ounce IBC root beer bottles. We're going to see if they're really doing surveillance. We're going to all hang out. We're going to drink these fucking 40 ounces in this parking
We're
lot."
gonna drink fake beer and see if the cops come catch us.
I like your style, Danish. This is very similar to my childhood.
So we're at the same speed. We're not trying to kill old women and their crafts and their Fabergé eggs.
We're not ripping down stop signs and shooting homecoming queens from the rooftop, heckling the mayor, jumping off of buildings, crashing golf carts into trees,
Like the
and
toy.
running from the cops. What the fuck? That was the worst ride of that lady's life. She probably thought she was gonna die.
But when you saw that crap break, it was pretty fucking funny. Because my buddy tapped me, he goes, dude, just fucking look back there. There's half of its leg on the road.
She scrimped and saved for the perfect craft every year.
Waited
to buy
every
for the
year,
popcorn.
So we're in this back to the off the tangent.
Sorry.
We're back in the parking lot. It was this night. There was no one there, so it was me and my buddies, and there was this one meathead guy on the football team who was drinking beer, but it was him and like another friend who we weren't really friends with. They were drinking. The one guy's drinking beer, and so we're making a lot of noise, like really trying to like
Whoop it up.
yeah, trying to get it going. We're feeling good.
Off a root beer.
All of a sudden, the cops drive up in the flying V fucking geese formation, like 4 cars and a motorcycle in front.
Yeah.
So they were
You guys
doing.
had a motorcycle? In the
My
winter?
town bought a
Yeah.
hovercraft with taxpayer money.
Ah, you guys were rich.
The police,
Jesus.
the river, and that's the only. But who you need a hovercraft for, other than busting like a party like that's on this river. So these guys come up in the flying V. I swear to God, and like in this point in my head, I'm like they weren't corrupt, but like they would search your car with no like they would just do what they want.
That's because you guys let them search your car.
I guess we weren't.
Because
like,
we never.
They weren't taking their shirts off.
When the
and fighting
cop
cops.
goes, let us see what's in your trunk, I go, no, you can't. And kids are stupid, and they say, yeah, I never did, and
So
it pisses them off.
In my head, I'm like, they could just say this is beer, and like we could go to jail.
That's what I would have been thinking too. That's what I'm thinking right now.
So these guys-
oh, I
That's
would
what
have
I
fucking
see.
loved that.
So these
That's
guys
a lawsuit.
So these guys pull up, and one of the guys is so fucking overzealous. I think it was the guy on the motorcycle. And he's like the biggest dick cop in my town. Everyone hated him, knew him by name. He gets out with leather gloves on, like to not sully the fucking the
The justice on his fingertips.
or like to the evidence, like that he was getting, and he had like literally like 8 pairs of cuffs in his hand. And he dropped a couple, and one of my friends hates authority, and he's like, "Drop your cuffs!" And he's like, "What? Who said that?" And he's like already fucking pissed, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So he comes out. They immediately go to the meathead football guy drinking a beer, cuff him. He gets thrown in a car. We're like, this may not end well. And so they come up.
He was drinking a root beer.
No, he was drinking a real beer. The one guy not in on it.
That's the thing that fucked everything up.
Well, so that we were like, what an idiot. That we knew he knew what was going on. So he gets immediately thrown in the car. We're like, oh shit, this guy's under arrest. So they come up to us and they're like, and like they would get like a real shitty attitude, like, oh, what's going on? Look at what's going on here. Bunch of guys hanging out. Huh? What's going on? And the guy's like, what are you drinking on over there, son? And like this one guy, he was like very nervous, and he's like, root beer? And he holds up, and the guy's like, oh, I'll be the judge of that. And he takes it and he smells it. He's like, oh, that's root beer. And he's fucking pissed at this point. Like, so fucking pissed. And like we kind of started like laughing, like, yeah, it's working. So this guy's pissed. So they start fucking shining lights, like, find it hard to believe nothing's going on here. They start shining lights. They shine lights in my buddy's car. And like none of this was, and he's like, oh, look at this, a cooler. And we're like, oh, this wasn't discussed. This idiot has beer in his car, didn't tell us. He's like, how about we take the cooler out and let's take a look and see what's in there. We're like, oh shit, like our buddy's gonna go to jail.
And you're like, yes, sir, let me open.
Yeah, please open that cooler up. So my buddy opens his car, and the guy goes to the cooler, like real. He's like looking around. Oh yeah, oh, okay, root beer. So he opens it up, and he looks, and he goes, yogurt, real healthy. And he fucking. At this point, they are fucking beside themselves. Yeah. Well, the guy who everyone hates looks at us and he goes, if I were you, I would get the fuck out of here and not come back here tonight. And we just like got in our car, like, have a good night. Fucking took off. So that was more of the fun I was into, not destroying old women and murder.
Let's wrap it up with the promise story. Tell about the Steve O'Neill cross-country shit story.
Before you do that, I just want to interject real quick. That no strippers, and then like when I was beating off to the prostitutes, I never even had the courage to get a prostitute. I was beating off to their website, the prostitute.
You missed out.
Website.
You should have went to Valpo.
I don't know, man, but like
next popcorn festival, dude. What happens at popcorn festival is mainly illegal, and it'll stay there. That's the slogan.
No, I can't do that stuff now, man. I get like this weird feeling
of
anytime
being a grown man
of adulthood.
Yeah, I just think like all the time.
Not wanting to be human fucking garbage.
No, I think all the times where I could have fucked up.
To ruin other people's lives.
Deep down, I know the difference between right and wrong. I don't know what that sense is.
Do you think being away from that town is like being in LA?
No, I think just growing up.
But you think if you stayed there?
I still have I would, like
you would be in big trouble if you stayed there, or mayor.
I would probably be mayor.
Then it'd be some like new Ryan O'Neill yelling off.
You'd be heckling yourself on the loudspeaker.
But I always had like, my family hates authority. So like anything that went down, if there was a problem,
they were on
like,
your side.
My old man would be like calling Sue. Because one time, there's this area in our town where it's a 2-lane road goes into one, and I blew by this old Mustang at like 60 miles an hour, and it's a 30. Well, it turns out this asshole is an undercover cop. And he didn't have a light, and he starts chasing me. And I love nothing more than to get into car chases when I was younger. Like, I love it.
Old Dukes of Hazzard O'Neill.
Like, I have routes and stuff. So, I'm leading this guy.
You wear the cutoff shorts.
Whose favorite thing is to get into car chases?
Get in a car chase and shoot a bow and arrow with dynamite.
There was always. I remember we got once chased by these guys in a convertible. So my buddy took a can of mace and just started spraying the whole can out the window, and it went in the fucking car.
Your childhood is like Yankee Cannonball. Like fucking.
All right, so this guy's chasing me.
I can relate to that because when I was your age, then my favorite thing was completing fantasy novels and playing Dungeons and Dragons,
learning SAT words.
So this undercover cop is chasing me, and I'm leading him on the chase, and I'm good. And so next thing I know,
what do you mean I'm good?
Bring it on, Copper.
So we're going down a one-way street. Next thing I know, a fucking car going the wrong way is headed right at me.
Did you hit the dirt jump and go over it?
Hit the horn.
So
look out now. Those O'Neill boys seem to be in a lot of trouble. Y'all stick around and see what happens after the commercial.
Here comes Uncle Jesse.
After the commercial is over, I drive up on a
Freeze
fucking. I drive up on a yard around this fucking car.
Going 60?
No, I mean I don't know what I was going at this point, but I was trying to lose this guy and this other fucking car. So I go around this car and up on this guy's going the wrong way. Well, what the fuck is this? And now I'm starting to get worried. And so I blew through a stop sign in front of a cop, and I go, oh, thank God, this guy's gonna pull me over. So the cop pulls me over.
What, to
and
stop
then
your rampage?
These two fucking cars pull over too, and I go, good. Finally, we're gonna get some fucking justice. Both these guys are undercover cops, and they start saying all this crazy shit, like this guy fucking ran me off the road. I go, what the fuck is this? So then the cop gives me a ticket.
How dare you yell at me for this?
The cop gives me a ticket.
We're driving 90 on the wrong way, one road.
Well, then the cop gives me a ticket for blowing the stop sign, and now they're thinking about pressing charges and all these other things. Well, these assholes were undercover cops driving without their fucking lights on. So I go home, tell my parents. My dad gets on the phone, because my dad is giving a lot of money in the town to various parties.
Why talk to you about not doing this? Why not?
Yeah, why not
bust
Brian?
their
You almost
balls?
killed someone. You're grounded. No.
I didn't almost kill anybody. I fucking passed the guy. So he calls
We're gonna
up.
teach these cops a lesson.
Yeah, he calls up, and guess who gets a fucking apology from the mayor? No ticket.
The mayor, you
and
heckled?
everything. This guy, you can't chase fucking kids in a car if you're an undercover cop with no lights on.
Yeah, that guy's a jerk.
Yeah, what
the fuck did I
You're
do?
a fucking hero, man.
I
You're a
was speeding
fucking
and I
hero.
passed the guy. I didn't cut him off.
Now, did the studio?
That's the same bullshit.
Hold on a second. Did the studio audience applaud before the credits rolled at the end of that day?
And what was Daisy doing that whole time?
Here's the deal. Those cops in that
Hey,
town,
I can't help that I
they
live
sound-
life, my friends.
They sound like the
I can't help it.
they sound like the dumbest sitcom cops in the world. How did they not know who you were? Because you've done everything wrong.
And were
in
they
this
undercover
town.
cops, or they just drive Mustangs in their vehicles?
because
They're
there is
part
a
of the
huge
O'Neill crackdown take force.
There is a huge drug problem in my town, so they drove like shitty Mustangs and stuff. My buddy once
I
got.
should have asked for the hovercraft from my town.
My buddy once got. He left this place where he bought weed, and they also sold coke. And he got pulled over a few blocks away, and they go, "You have to wear a wire, go back in there, and buy more drugs, or we're gonna fucking take you down
through the wire."
And so he did it, and they never pressed any charges. But the one cop, who's this big douchebag, everyone knew him. He had a red afro, and everybody knew.
Officer McDonald.
Everybody knew that. Everyone knew he was an undercover cop.
Was he
And
trying to catch the Hamburglar?
And after my buddy wore a wire, went undercover, he goes, "That's the first part." He's like, "One day I'm gonna call on you.
You gotta suck
to
my
do
dick.
one more thing, and you better answer that call."
Suck the dick. Was there shirts that said "Dare to keep the O'Neills off the road"?
It wasn't just
when
me,
your
it
parents
was other-
moved. So the stories that go. Your parents when your parents moved to California across country. Was there a fucking parade equal, if not greater, to the fucking popcorn parade?
there
when you
was
guys,
a lot.
When you guys
The
left
O'Neills
the fucking
leaving
city?
Well, you-
town.
I mean,
were they
you know,
fireworks and pageantry?
There
and
was a
people cheers?
Facebook site set up dedicated to that guy that fucked a chicken in our motel.
Let's talk about the Steve. Do we have time
Well,
for the Steve O'Neill shit story?
Yeah, it's great.
Steve O'Neill's is
A legend.
But Ryan,
He's the Paul
falls right in
He's the Paul
footsteps.
Bunyan of Indiana.
But Ryan
Oh,
is
yeah.
similar as
Yeah,
well.
those are I mean, Ryan's trying, but those are big. Your dad has left some big fucking
Apple has
footsteps,
not
dude.
fallen far from
No,
the tree.
that's for sure.
No, it was shot off by a paintball gun.
Paintball, a grenade
It was
launcher.
probably a potato
It
gun.
was knocked out by a quarter stick of dynamite.
It was definitely from a potato
We haven't even
gun.
gotten into the time Ryan's brother threw a cinder block onto a shotgun
yeah.
shell and what did he shoot himself?
Shot himself in the leg. That's all. And I thank God I wasn't strong enough to lift up the cinder block because he wanted me to drop it on it, but I was too small. Yeah, he dropped it and shot himself, buckshot right in the fucking leg
Out
from
of
like
the shell?
2 feet.
You need to get the Tupac Thug Life tattoo, but just a farm life across across the stomach.
Yeah, I mean it's rough out there.
Tell the shitting story. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so when Steve O'Neill's on his way across country in a U-Haul, bringing the furniture out with my mom, Steve O'Neill halfway through decides he's got to take a shit. And he's been holding it for a while. I think it's New Mexico or somewhere where you can go
Is it nighttime?
hours without any rest stops. No, it's day.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. New Mexico
Yeah,
is like
it's fucking
50, 70
desolate.
miles between the rest stops.
Hot air
When we
balloon
used to
capital.
drive through there for spring break, we would stop in the middle of the highway and just piss. We would never see anybody. So he's like, I can't hold it anymore. You have to pull over to the side of the highway. I have to take a shit.
She driving or is your mom driving?
I think he's driving, and then he gets out, and then my mom's just sitting in the passenger seat.
Okay.
So the only place he can find is off the side of the highway is this huge ravine.
There's
It's
like a drop off right up
It's
the
like
highway.
a 30 or 40
They're on a
foot.
cliff.
Nature's toilet, the ravine, the dangerous ravine.
They pull over to a cliff.
But,
O'Neal
no,
said you
it's
are
like-
parked in a cliff.
It's like it's not completely down, but it's a real steep grade that you probably can't walk.
No danger,
But-
no O'Neals.
There's a tree there, and there's a branch hanging off.
How am I supposed to make a deuce if I don't fucking feel my heart racing?
And he's like, I can hang off this branch while my pants are ankle.
Over the open air.
Yeah,
Over like
and
the-
take a shit.
Who would ever do this?
So his pants around his ankles. He's holding on to the branch.
Your dad, mind you, is 6'5" or 6'6".
6'6".
Not a small guy.
He's a big guy. So you imagine this look, and he's real tall and skinny. So he's hanging on
Was
this
he
branch.
naked? Wouldn't he shit into his pants?
No,
Like,
because
what was
that's
that?
why he's dangling
He pulls
off.
his pants up. He locks his legs up like a
So his
mountain
legs
climber.
are pretty
Just
far
his
in front of him.
Oh, so he's doing like a pike
Yeah,
almost.
his
like
legs
a
are-
gymnastics.
No, he's
Like
hanging
this.
Yeah,
backwards.
he's hanging down.
Yeah,
and, he's
and his
hanging back,
legs are really
straight,
far in front
like
of him.
pushing himself off.
Hold on.
His ass is
Let me
sticking out
finish
bare
this.
over the thing.
So he's hanging like that, and he's shitting, and next thing you know, the branch breaks.
No shit. No shit.
And there's boulders all over the place. These fucking crazy rocks.
Like 28
He
or 30
somersaults 30 feet down, lands on the fucking rock, and he's just laying there, and he's cut open, and he shit his pants. And he's fucking got cuts and bruises all over him, but he's just glad that he's still alive. So he climbs.
His dad had died shitting.
He climbs up. He barely can make it up the fucking hill. He climbs up, opens my mom's passenger door. He goes, "You got to drive." And she goes, "Did you take a shit?" And he goes, "I don't want to talk about it." And then he tells
covered
my
in
mom the
blood.
story about how this fucking branch broke and he somersaulted 30 feet. Luckily, he didn't fall in his own shit. And he still had to go. So he held it for the next like day and a half.
He never shit
He was
again.
scared shitless.
He's like, he told me, he's like, I'm lucky I'm not paralyzed.
You know, when I shit outside, I'm worried about a snake biting my balls or anything like that. I'm not dangling over a cliff, Wile E. Coyote style. Like, what the fuck, man?
He thought it would hold. It's a pretty good idea if you think about it.
No, it's not a good idea.
It's a flawed
It's a
idea.
terrible idea, dude.
Couldn't he have leaned his ass out over the ravine instead of?
I don't think you can. Hey,
Oh, man, I gotta
he
take a
has,
shit. You think there's a cliff
he has
or something
horrible
somewhere?
knees because he played basketball.
Couldn't he lay in the fetal position and just shit into the earth?
Yeah.
And
there-
there's
there a
nothing
version of
else
the runway
around
he
there.
could have used.
What was he going to use?
There's nothing else around.
What was he going to use as toilet paper?
He had toilet paper.
So he knew that he may have to take
Is
an
that
outdoor
how he
shit.
climbed out? He made a rope up to the thing.
Made a rope.
Didn't your mother laugh and he didn't enjoy that?
She laughed for about 3 hours straight as he regaled the tale of his near paralyzation via shitting.
Over the ravine.
And she said, I wish I had a recorder. Like, she was dying. And she still laughs to this day.
You know
'Cause
how
he,
many-
he gets really angry, so he was coming up like, the motherfucking cocksucking branch, that motherfucking piece of shit.
I
like,
can see
going
him beating the
crazy.
branch on like a rock.
It's a branch in a desert. It's in a desert. It's gonna
It's brittle
snap.
and
It's in a
shitty.
desert.
and you're 6'6".
He's hanging all of his body weight off a cliff so that he can watch his dookie fall down into a hole. Like, that's the craziest
You
thing
know how
in
many
the
people
world.
in Valpo, Indiana would have loved to have seen him take that fall? Serves you right, O'Neal.
Holy shit, that is amazing.
They're going to bury him in a popcorn coffin.
Best idea, worst idea ever. Would your dad ever come over here and
Oh,
do the
Jesus.
podcast?
Yeah, he would love to. He would go
He would
on for
talk.
hours. You want to talk about a tangent?
His old man talks like no one I've ever seen talk.
Oh, he just loves it.
Non-stop.
Dude, I just...
Verbal diarrhea, but like he'll give you I met him recently for the first time, and he was giving me like specific names, but like you know what he's talking about, but you know, like, I went to high school with this guy, Martin Johnson. They were friends with the O'Malley's
But
who ran the bakery.
people love him,
Anyway.
man. And dude, he's been in town for only a few months. He knows every fucking person in the 3-block radius. He goes and hangs out at this pet food shop that's run by this comic. I went there to buy bird food the other day, and he goes, "When's your old man getting back in town?" And I told him, like, in a few days. He's
Thank
like,
God.
people love him around here. He's like, that is one charming son of a bitch, I'll tell you that. Everybody loves him.
Mark Maron was filming his pilot across the street from O'Neill's parents, and Steve O'Neill was poking around the set, making friends. He's like, he asked me and him, like, you guys ever heard of a guy named? He's like, some guy who's on the crew. We're like, no, we have no idea who that is. And his dad also asked me, you ever heard the saying, you talk like a man with a paper asshole? I was like, I can honestly say, no, I have not heard that one.
Jesus. Steve O'Neill, living legend.
Smuggled beers into Staples Center.
Yeah.
You got. I've never laughed harder than it was just like Pretty Woman.
Can you quickly
Take
get
this
Pretty
money.
Woman to close the show?
Take this money. Take this money.
Pretty Woman.
I want to keep fucking.
I don't want to ruin Roy Orbison's beautiful song with
In
fucking Ryan's
Amsterdam. Pretty Woman.
All right, let's wrap it up. That's gonna do
Big
this.
mistake. Huge mistake.
Let's wrap it up. That's about over an hour. That was
man.
good job, Ryan.
I'm
You're an
exhausted.
American hero.
We've only scratched the surface.
All right, if you want us to mention something or talk about something on the show or a topic, tweet at us at @DorkExplosion, and be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes on the DorkExplosion.com channel on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. This is a good episode, guys. You guys really did a lot of horrible things, mostly on O'Neill's part, but it was amazing. So
The
good
root beer cops, we fooled you.
Yeah. You have fucking power. You have over fucking prostitutes versus the root beer.
His stories are like, I won $10 million in Vegas. Mine's like, I won $3 on a scratcher. It's pretty cool, right?
I'm going to stop telling these stories. Once again, this is all made up for your enjoyment.
And send
case
those
I have to get a
vagina
job.
pictures to O'Neill the ass kicker. That's 2 L's.
Yeah, even putting.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If this becomes popular and we really start, like, this becomes huge, then I'm going to really get into the really deep, dark stuff.
Yeah, say
Then I don't have to worry about
So if you like this
backtracking at all.
podcast, share with your friends and get your friends to listen to it. And Ryan will tell even more fucked up, horrible stories. So thank you guys so much for listening. I've been one of your co-hosts, Dan Bilek, along with
Andrew DeWitt.
Ryan O'Neill.
All right, thanks so much. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Love you too.